motivational speaker, Tony Doty, coming on in a little while. And today I want to talk about great minds think. So again, shout out to the Logan brothers for their collaboration with me on Teens with Dreams for Marco's show as we smash Avas Casual Chat and Teens with Dreams together today. So welcome, everybody. Hope you enjoy our show today. Len, Donna, thank you so much for being here and taking the time out from your busy schedules. So let's get right into it, guys. Oh, there he is. Hello, Mr. Doty, international speaker, professional public speaker, Tony Doty. So the ultimate you, right?
Yeah, he's muted at the moment. Unmute yourself, Anthony.
There you are. Hi. Oh, you're muted again. All right.
Hey guys, how are you? Sorry, I had a little technical difficulties getting on. How's everybody?
Yeah, that's good. We're just getting started. We had some technical difficulties too, so we're just getting started. So welcome. And I want to get right into it with great minds think, as opposed to great minds think alike. Where does the start come from? So let me start with you, Donna. How did you get involved in Be Connected, and tell us a little bit about what that is?
Okay. Actually, my company is Glow Media Marketing, and I help small businesses to find ways to strategically market their business. And when I was in LA, actually right before COVID hit big, I was when I got back, I received this opportunity while we were in lockdown to work with Be Connected. Be Connected is a new marketing engine. It works pretty much like, well, exactly works like LinkedIn and a dating service. So you can do the same thing on LinkedIn. However, you end up with spam and people you don't want to do business with. Where Be Connected's connection generator serves up people that you actually want to do business with. So if you're a speaker, or you're a business person, or you're looking for investors, this is the type of connections you want to make that are actually targeted to your, according to your profile. In addition to that, you get world-class training and coaching if you want to like take it to the next level.
Nice.
One of the things that intrigued me with it was because it was something that I often thought of over the years in doing marketing, like I do online marketing, is that why no one ever came up with this before? You know, why couldn't we have targeted marketing that works kind of like a dating service? If you're looking for your perfect mate, then it would make sense to, if you're looking for your perfect clients, to have a similar type of algorithm. So that's
Nice.
what attracted me immediately to this really ground floor opportunity.
I think I was telling Len and both Tony a little bit about this prior, as I'm learning around this, navigating around the site myself. I also spoke with Mike Peluso, Len, about it, and I'm trying to get Mike hooked up with Tanya, because there's some synergy there that they might be able to help each other with the entire platforms. So Donna, I'll keep you posted on that, but that's just something that's been toying around.
Heavy hitters, big investors in this opportunity.
Yeah, I noticed some of them.
I just wanted to like preface this a little bit. When I was in LA right before the COVID, I was talking to my friend. I was spending time with her before she retired, and she was telling me about when years and years ago, before Amazon started, like around the time he started, that you know she had some failed investments, and her broker said to her she had like $200 left, and he said, "Well, there's this new company called Amazon. Do you want to try that?" And she's like, "It's only $200." So you know her stock after all these years, and that's when they were just failing and just trying to figure out they were a book sales company. The whole. Do you know what that stock at $200 is worth today to her? $500,000.
Wow.
And I heard this opportunity. I'm like, yeah, for such a low buy-in, I don't want want to miss that opportunity. So I don't know if that was spirit telling me like, don't miss this.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. But
I think it's always good to get in on something on the ground floor when it resonates with you, especially something like that. That's pretty cool. And, what were all the people saying? No, computer technology, that's never going to work. Remember that? And I know you do some web stuff too. So,
CompuServe. So I mean,
yeah.
I about grew up on the internet.
Yeah. So you and Len will have some synergy there as well. So Len, tell us about the Anastasi group. It's so exciting what you're doing.
Well, basically, I've been in entertainment for over 50 years, would you believe? But when I came to LA 9 years ago, it was to be originally like an actor, a producer, a director, and that's where everything was going and everything was fine. And then, of course, we all know what hit at the beginning of this year. And for me, I don't know what it is exactly, but I seem to have the ability to create logical progressions and logical actions to resolve things. And I ended up, courtesy of our friend Tony, I ended up ghostwriting a book for a doctor on the pandemic. And the research that I did into that actually made me also a bit of an expert on this whole COVID thing. I learned so much about it. But when the process of learning so much about it, I started developing protocols of how we could get around it to get things safe again. And that's what I've been doing pretty much since about March altogether, is developing these protocols. And then we decided, let's create a company, let's do it properly, and let's get it all official. And we have several doctors who we gain access to on a regular basis, and they're sort of our experts in the field. And what we do is we supply testing and protocols and all sorts of bits and pieces for people who want to reopen their industry safely. This is the bit that's actually frustrating me right now, is that for the last 2.5 months, I've had a perfect protocol in place for reopening the schools. I know it will work. We have all of the elements. And we've even been talking to the health and safety of the teachers union. But we cannot get to anybody who can make decisions and say, yes, let's try it. And that's the frustrating part. I'm hearing the news day in, day out, and it's breaking my heart, because I know full well it could all have been avoided,
And now think that things are opening, it's going to be a little tougher. So I know we're trying to help you break into some of those places. So let's see what happens over the next 20, 30 days. We talked about this before, that every week something different's going to unfold. So, we just have to stay in line with that. So Anthony, or better known as Tony Doty, when you're speaking professionally, correct? So you're working with Len on this also. What would you like to tell us about you and your speaking career and what's going on with you?
Well, I've, a lot of people know me in that area. I live right outside of the city there. And, some of you guys, I got in a very bad car accident. I was down for a while, healing for 3 years, literally. At the beginning of this year, January, I met the gentleman, Mike Caruso. I really love him. And, I'm very well to he's been on your show, and he started working with me from a neurosomatic standpoint, a type of modality. And I went to an event. My dear friend Rick Frischman, who's, if you think of Steven Spielberg in the movie world, he's Steven Spielberg in the book world. They're the largest book agency in the country for 40 years, right? And I went to his event. I was speaking there very briefly. Met a gentleman named Gary Krebs, who was a keynote, world-renowned international publisher, best-selling author, and I was able to help him to help his book become a movie, Little Miss Dark County Oakland story, which kind of brought me into the movie world. So then I reconnected with my dear friend Len here, who's in the movie world, who's in the industry for over 50 years. I like to joke and say he started when he was negative 5 years old, but he's been in that space for a time. And, we just connected again. We met him through our dear friend Kurt Angle 2 years ago. And Len and I just reconnected, and we started doing some things in regards to helping people get their books published. Started talking about some other film projects that Len has, and then the biggest thing was in regards to opening up Hollywood again, right? Which we've had a small. We're very excited. Of course, we want to break into school systems and things like that, help everybody throughout the world. But we're doing it. We're doing it literally one, movie at a time, one, test and play at a time. But in regards to speaking, at the end of the day, I've always looked at myself as a person that's, here to help human beings, whatever that need is. I personally think the biggest need right now is the pandemic of the global chasing global, you know, and that's why my heart's been here with the company. But I will tell you, when we're all back and, you know, Tony Robbins is rocking and UPW live, and not, you know, not through Zoom anymore and things like that, I'm very excited to get on stage again. I'm very excited to speak to thousands of people again and help serve. Very excited for my new buddy, Mike Peluso, the founder of True Living, to be my, you know, my partner on stage. You know, we joke, we say we're not Batman or Robin, but we're more like Superman and Batman. He could be Superman, that's cool. You know, so just very excited, you know, to get back out there and to serve again and help people. And now from being on the other side of being very bad for a long time, being in a very, very tough situation to say the least, you know, I believe resonate with people on a higher level. And I'm still healing. I still really can't read a lot. I can't really write a lot. Can't really look at LEDs, you know, healing from, you know, some of the stuff in the brain. It's fine, but I'm doing it. I'm grateful to God I'm doing it. I promised that I would make one phone call a day since January, and I have, and it's turned into something. So I'm grateful for that.
You know, it's important that, I mean, I've been really down over this whole mess, but I think it's important that we just try to focus on the very next step. Like Jack Canfield says, when you can't see the road in front of you, you can see 500 feet, you know, and then you go proceed and you go to the next 500 feet and you go to the next 500 feet. And that's what's been helping me get through, because when you look at the big picture, sometimes it's a little scary, as you well know, Len. But I want to hook you all up with my sponsor and my very good friend, Jerry Petito. I want to hook you guys up with her because I think there's some real good synergy going on. She met Mike last week when we all met face to face, and Mike was on the show last month. So Mike is absolutely a doll, and I'm going to hook you up with him too, Donna. So I'll get those connections going right after we're done today. Anthony, I think we got a little bit of a connection problem there, so I hope everybody was able to hear you. It was coming in and out a little, yet I think it was okay. Were you guys able to hear it, Len and Donna? Were you able to hear him okay?
Most of it, yeah. There were a couple of
most of it, okay.
It was fine.
Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, in some places, yeah.
Yeah, a little spotty, but are you Tony? Are you in Florida now?
Yeah, so I'm at. Let me try. I have a speaker, a JBL speaker.
Oh, now we lost you altogether. It was fine for a minute. No, we lost you. No, you work on that. We'll talk to Len and Donna. Work on that for a minute. So, Len, tell us a little bit about your Hollywood experience. I know you're an award-winning producer, director. Yes.
Yeah, that was actually a blessing more than anything that came through this year. It's been a long haul, but basically I won Best Director for a short that I did, which was a tester for a TV show. For a friend of mine in France. So I was really, really pleased to win that one at a festival. And I'm producer of a TV show, or at least one of the producers of a TV show called The Blend, which won the best TV show at the International Christian Film Festival this year. So that was really, really, that was a great blessing as well to actually receive that. So to actually say I'm an award-winning Hollywood producer and director is something I never ever thought I'd be able to say, but you know what I mean? It's absolutely brilliant.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's my background. My background is music and theater. I studied music and theater for a long time, and wound up taking all of my business experience. I ran my father's businesses when my parents got older, and wound up putting that all under one umbrella. So for those of you that don't know me, our company is 4A Star, and we're an umbrella over the entertainment industry. Now, of course, since everything happened this year, I'm tweaking a lot of things, yet I am still working in our book realm. So, Anthony, Tony, you're familiar with that. Yet what we do is we work as a hybrid company. So I work with a company called Book Baby. Now, Len, you might be familiar with CD Baby because they do a lot of the CDs for up and coming artists, and Book Baby is their sister company. So what I tell my clients is they can certainly do everything that I do for them on their own, but they have to do all the legwork. And when they hire us, what happens is, we go through Book Baby, which is a self-publishing outlet, yet then they get their books shipped in the mail, and then what? So we teach them how to work with a manuscript. We actually have an in-house editor and an in-house illustrator. And our illustrator also did the designs for our Avas eye bags that give back to 21 charities across the country. So, so there's a lot going on, a lot of things we're tweaking this year. Yet I know that when Tony introduced me to you, Len, there was a nice synergy because we have, you know, I have the background right in that field, and you know I'm so familiar with the lingo and everything. So that's kind of cool. And then Donna with getting in on the Be Connected, that's so cool because I think it's important that we're targeting, like you said, when you go on LinkedIn, there's a lot of noise out there. So
Yeah.
Be Connected is supposed to like narrow that down, correct?
Correct. Yeah, and it's very integral as far as you actually rate your connections. So when you put in your profile and then you go out and do a search on somebody you want to connect with, say, if you're a speaker, you're looking for speaking engagements, and then it will serve up all the people in the database that are looking for speakers. And so then you do the dance. You know, if they're local to you, you can meet them for coffee. If you keep your 6 feet different distance, or you could do a Zoom call, or however you want to connect. So you sort of do a dance the same way you would if you're dating someone. And then you rate them, you know, after you have this, you know, experience, and maybe they're not what you're looking for, but they were cordial, they were polite, you liked the connection, you give them a 5-star rating. So it's by the rating system too. So you're not getting tire kickers or people that are trying to sell you the next shiny object. You know, these are
squirrel. That's cool. So I asked you guys this earlier before Tony came on. On Marco's show, we try to motivate young people, and I usually co-host with him. So he's not here today, so we're kind of bunching the show together. What do you have that might be of interest to a young, either teenager or, you know, just out of teen years, maybe 2021? Is there anything in either of your companies or any of your companies that might be attractive to, you know, a youth coming up?
Well, if I can answer that one to start with, today, in this day and age, it's the easiest thing in the world for anybody, no matter where they are, to, as we see from all the influencers on Instagram and all that sort of stuff, anybody with the technology today can make their own little movies, can make their own little projects, can literally get themselves known, get themselves seen. Whereas when I was growing up, when you were growing up, Ava, I mean, there was just no way we could do it.
We didn't have any of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we didn't have any of that.
The biggest thing, though, these days, and the most unfortunate thing about the situation is there's too much virtual software out there. So it means that you don't need to be a musician to make music these days. You don't need to be an artist to create cartoons these days or animations. That's
Right.
the hard part. So people like myself, for example, producers looking at it, if somebody sends something through, we want to see something which is obviously them, and not just something they've made up from loops or made up from presets or made up from whatever the case may be. So literally anybody, my advice to anybody on a teen or coming out of school who wants to get into the industry, be real. Don't jump on the back of any software or things that you find. Actually impress with what you create yourself. I think that's the biggest word.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's great advice. Donna, what about you? Anything for the younger ones coming up?
You know, there's a strategic marketing expert. I think that Be Connected is perfect for someone looking to make connections with someone that can help them further their career. So
Gotcha.
it's not just finding the connection, but asking someone to help them steer them in a direction that would help them. That the generator would do that. And there's also, you know, especially for, you know, a young person that has an influence, a presence like on Instagram, Be Connected also, because it's a ground floor opportunity. They have a phenomenal program where they can become an affiliate marketer of Be Connected for a very small buy-in, and they can make residual incomes for life. So that's really and that's for anyone that's in this COVID experience. If you have any type of, influence on the internet, this is a ground floor opportunity. It's not multi-level marketing, so let's get that out of our head.
Mhm.
This is an affiliate program because they're up and coming and they're growing. So this is like the only opportunity you would have to be able to get residual incomes from an upstart like this.
Mhm.
Once they become a multi-million person thing, this kind of opportunity will go away. So
Right, right.
it's a great time for people who are sitting home that haven't had a sphere of influence to really get in on a very, very low buy-in to really make some good money now and residual forever.
I think for those of you that when Donna's talking about ground floor, this company just launched September 1st. However, they've been behind the scenes for a while. I came on board in late August, but they just launched like a week ago. So it's really, really ground floor. There's still a few months upcoming, if I understand that correctly, that they're still working on like next phases until, it gets to where it's supposed to be. So,
that's what I guess I failed to say. They're in 17 countries now, so it is international.
wow, that's amazing. I love it. Tony, what advice do you have for a young person that is like wanting to get into motivational speaking like you do? I mean, I know you and I talk all the time and we do it well. I know we need hooks to get each other off sometimes, right? But what kind of advice do you have for a young person that might want to get into that part of the industry?
Well, first of all, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, your video is frozen, but I hear you better. Yes.
Okay. You should see some of the podcasts and shows I've done in the awkward positions my video has frozen. So this one's not that bad. But if you can hear me okay, Ava, you know me very well. Like that's my passion, young people. I love, if you ask me any age group, like that I think is my sweet spot to help, it is juniors, seniors in high school, right? I've spoken at a lot of high schools, spoken at some colleges as well. Co-ran the Kurt Angle Team Challenge with Kurt, where we, brought Kurt to Violin High School and Manalapan and, all kinds of other schools in Jersey. I'm going to tell you something, not just for public speaking, for anything. So, my advice for anybody young watching this right now is this. First and foremost, know that, when you're a freshman in high school, right, and somebody asks you where you're going to be in 2 years, it's very simple. It's laid out. They go, 1, 2, I'm going to be a junior. If you ask a junior in high school where you're going to be in a year, they go, oh, that's simple. 1, I'm going to be a senior. But when you ask a senior that's not going to college, or by the way, if you ask a senior that is in college, or where you're going to be at in a year, for the first time in their lives, they have no clue, right? And it's like they're like in this endless ocean on a sailboat, and they're literally letting the wind direct them. Because for the first time, it's not laid out for them, So it's for the first time. It's like Abraham Lincoln had that quote, George Washington actually. The average man dies from the neck up at 24, the rest of the body to die, right? Because they're confused. So what I tell people is very simple. When you get into a vehicle, and I preach this a lot to young kids, you always know where you're going, right? You put something in the GPS, right? And then basically what happens is the GPS gives you feedback back and you reverse engineer it and you start and you chunk it out. And it's the same thing with anything in life. I mean, it's the same way that you woke up today and had an omelet in the morning. You pictured on an omelet, you know what it looked like, right? You saw that vision and you reverse engineered it backwards, got the ingredients to cook that omelet, make it together, and put it together. If you wanted an omelet and you went to a diner and they came out with a cheeseburger, right? It would be completely off. You'd have to recalibrate, right? And it's the same thing. So, what I tell everybody is this: the biggest thing, especially at that age, is Donna touched on this briefly, to get a mentor. Right? It is so key to get a mentor because, like my buddy Keith Kochner used to always say, he was my partner for a while there, the mentor. He would say, we all say that hindsight's 20/20, right? But foresight could be 20/20 if you have the proper mentor that can walk by your side, hand in hand, and show you the way in which they've already walked. And all they have to do is follow the footprints in what they've already done, right? And also remember this. Simon Sinek wrote a book called It Starts With Why. I don't believe it starts with why. I believe it starts with what. You got to know your what. Your why is what fuels you, right? And then you have to, I get the phone calls from the people that want the how, it happens the how, but it's not really the how, right? We talk about that a lot with Mike Caruso. We'll find a person that's already done it, reverse engineer, and go do it. And you could be anything you want in life. And I'll leave you with this one last thought. For a year, I was in bed. For a year and 8 months, I didn't remember anything, right? I spent our savings. I went all around the world, stem cells, all kinds of different things. I've accomplished more in this pandemic, right? When everybody was home and watching Tiger King 100 times, I've accomplished more times, about 1,000,000, than I did in all the other years, when everybody else was prosperous. So what's my point? My point is that, in a good economy, people do bad, and in a bad economy, people do good. So it really doesn't matter with what's going on around you. It matters with what's going on inside. And so that's what I do.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'll tell you, I think it's gotten a lot of people to just slow down and think a little bit with all this extra time. I'll tell you, with all this downtime, I still find myself crazy busy, running here and there. And it's just like I can't even think sometimes. So I try to get that one day a week just to think. And it's funny you touched on the how and the why. With our bags, they're based on the empowering words we use every day. So the bags are the who, what, when, where, why, how, us and them, you and me, and I. So it's interesting that we touch on those empowering words. What is it we're doing? Why do we do it? How do we do it? Someone says, the how just follows. If you have, the why, and the how will show itself. So I guess that's the universe talking to us. Len,
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought. I was so engrossed in what Tony was saying that I totally lost my train of thought. So let's go into a little bit of how people can find you. I know, Donna, you might be using one of my links, but you can give some you too, if there's somebody that wants to reach out to you with questions or something. So Len, let's start with you. How would somebody find you if they want to reach out to you?
Well, there's several ways to reach out to me. The first thing is with Anastasia Group. We do have the anastasiagroup.com website, which is just ANASTASI group.com. And for anybody that doesn't know, Anastasia in Greek means resurrection. That's why we made it quite a special name, so it had a meaning
Nice.
to it. So,
Nice.
AnastasiaGroup.com, you can reach us through there. Anybody that wants to reach me, I've also got my lendavies.com website. So my email is len@lendavies.com, so it's that easy. And I pronounce it Davies now. Before I came to America, it was always Davis. But they always spell it IS when I just say Davis. So,
that's funny. It's funny because one of the ladies from the schools that I'm reaching out to for you here, her last name is Davies. I thought that was just really strange.
There you go. Probably distant Celtic cousins from the Welsh background.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. I think we lost Tony. So let's go to Donna. How would somebody reach you, or what kind of links or things you want to give out for people?
Sure. If you're interested in finding out more about Be Connected, I'm actually going to give Ava's link, which is HTTPS only one Ava dot BEE connected with a K.com. So that's only one Ava dot beconnected.com. You can also reach me at glowmediamarketing.com. My website is almost complete. So I work with small businesses and other entrepreneurs to help them find the leaks in their marketing strategy. And that is true. I agree with what everyone has said. COVID has made people to reevaluate where they're leaking money, and if your marketing strategy is bad, then you're leaking money and you're not finding your right clients. And so that's how Be Connected came into my life, was to help people find the right connections. And then with me, I can help them with their marketing strategy. So anyone can reach me with any questions at Donna at Glow, GLO, media, MEDIA, marketing.com. So even if you want a free assessment of your marketing plan, I can help you do that too. Or if you have questions about Be Connected.
Awesome. Awesome. And I am as I said before, retweaking and doing things. So I'm actually condensing and combining my websites into one spot, which is not quite ready yet. So if you want to look at some of the old content, which is still up and running, it would be 4astar.biz, the number 4astar.biz. And like I said, I'm on there moving things. So there's probably some old stuff on there, but eventually we will all be under avaholly.com. And everything will be there, the bags, 4A-Star, everything. So that should be coming up in the next 2 weeks. I should have it finally condensed into one place. So Tony, it looks like you're back. How can people reach you? We don't have your audio. No, you're not on. All right. Not there. All right, guys. So we'll get back to you on that. Oh, there you are. All right.
Okay. I had the mute button, sorry. So first of all, live on this, I want to invite you to the True Living Show, by the way, to have you on as a guest with myself and Mike.
Yeah. So that's the Wednesday night show you're talking about.
No, that's the Wednesday night mastermind. We do it every Monday at 7 o'clock. So we're going to do it Monday tomorrow at 7, but we'll have you on the following Monday at 7 o'clock, if that's okay.
You talking to me?
Talking to you, Ava. Yeah.
Oh, so the following Monday at 7.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's great.
And
awesome.
So wrap this up where you can find me. So, I have 2 asks. My first ask is that if anybody that needs anything in any way, shape, or form, feel free to reach out to me at Tony@trueliving.team, Tony@trueliving.team. And Wednesday night, we have a mastermind group. It's complimentary, for the first couple times there. Come check us out. Feel free to reach out, especially like the younger generation, because like I said, John Maxwell, there's a quote that goes, the leader knows the way and goes the way and shows the way. And we have a team of people from all around the world that really knows where they're going, knows to help other people calibrate and get there. And number 2, my second ask is, with my dear friend Len Davis, if you go to anastasiagroup.com, this is a shameless plug here, so like Mike Myers in Waynesville holding the Pepsi, right? We have a biotech device that we're using on movie sets. We're, like I said, then we're having conversations with school systems. We have to get to the decision makers. But basically, these are wearable. They go ahead, they put, in essence, almost like a, you can't say the word force field, but you know what I mean? They basically have, it's an active technology that goes out and destroys coronaviruses. Not saying COVID, but coronaviruses, aka anything human beings, because this enables the S proteins. And if you check out the website again, anastasiagroup.com, ANASTASI group.com. We have devices for homes. We have devices for cars, for Uber drivers, for Lyft drivers. We have home test kits sent to your house. So God forbid you do feel not well, you can go and have a test kit right there, send it back, and get results within 48 hours. So those are my 2 apps.
The testing you were doing for these school openings, Len, you can verify this also. I'm understanding that they're called rapid testing. So that's a different type of testing, or can you talk on that a little bit, Len?
Yeah, sure. There are different types of tests out there. The one thing that people need to know, the one that people accept as the 100% accurate one is called the nasopharyngeal test. That's the deep swab, which feels like sucking your brain out. But
thank you.
that's the one that is 100% accurate. But the problem with all of those is right now, the laboratories are swamped. And this is something I said a long time ago, that all of the testing that's going on now with people waiting for hours in their cars and then waiting up to 2 weeks to get the results, it's a waste of time, a waste of money, and a waste of resources, because after 3 days, your status changes anyway. So the results you get, you could have already gone through it. Nobody knows. So for me, all of that testing should have been stopped, and then that should be applied to police, fire, nurses, doctors, teachers, all the frontline people, because they need their status checked every 3 days. So that's the initial bit of testing. Beyond that, we then have, there is an antigen test, which is another swab, but just inside the nasal. But that still also requires a lab. There are devices which do it on site, but their reliability at the moment is being questioned. We're not too sure about how they tend to give a few too many false positives. In other words, they're playing safe, but they're playing safe at the cost of other resources because a false positive just creates a whole new set of issues where things can be shut down or isolated and all this stuff.
I've seen them already too.
Yeah, and then what you have for us, we use what they call a serology test, which is the blood finger prick test. It's like taking a diabetic blood sugar. So literally, you just take a few drops of blood, put it into the strip, add a couple of drops of what they call buffer to it, and then within about 10 to 15 minutes, you get the result of whether you're infected now, whether you've had the virus and have the antibodies. So at least you can tell what state you're in. So there's one of four states. One is all clear. One is with antibodies, so you've had it, but it still means you're safe. You're not infectious. Three is that you have the virus, and 3 is that you have the virus and the antibodies, which means you're in a full-blown war, basically. so these test strips, that's the rapid test. That's 10 to 15 minutes.
And that's pretty accurate?
Yeah,
Is that pretty?
They're 95 to 96% accurate.
That's pretty good.
Basically, the situation with a lot of these serology strips is people don't like them because they're called the antibody test, which means that it has to effectively be working in your blood. But the moment you get infected, something starts working in your blood anyway and does show up. And on a testing we did quite recently for a commercial shoot, we had a positive show up. You know, so literally the other test he had didn't show him as positive, but apparently he comes on set, he does a serology test, shows us positive. To be safe, we ran the test again, same result. So 2 test strips showing the same result is a pretty good way for us to say you have to get off site and self-isolate and start contact tracing. And that's the point. But the plan for the schools basically is quite simply, the teachers are the ones that need it every 3 days. And what we then plan with the school children is to do the serology test for them every other day with students. But you have to start building the school plan up properly. You can't just suddenly open a school to 1,000 students and expect them all to socially distance and get everything right and whatever. There's a deep cleaning protocol using hydrogen peroxide that we have access to that we're going to bring up. We have Oxytime is a company we're working with up in New Jersey there now, one of our partners, Lou. But this deep cleaning solution is not chemical. It's natural.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Yes.
With hydrogen peroxide, it was used 100 years ago in the other pandemic. It was a healing and curing system, and even today it's being used on COVID in certain areas. But hydrogen peroxide is animal and human friendly, so it means you don't have to worry about residue and all the stuff which can contaminate food and whatever. So a deep clean of a school on a daily basis of hydrogen peroxide, tied in with effective testing of the students. Plus, we have the devices to keep the school buses safe and the protocols to keep school buses safe. We have a complete protocol in place. And it just annoys me when I hear people say, no, we haven't thought about it. We haven't planned it. We have nothing in place. I have to say the word, you know, I'm going to call BS on that, because a logical mind could have put this together like I did. And it's not, no, I don't mean to sound arrogant in any way, shape or form, but it's a logical process and it's easy to work out. We just need to present it to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, hopefully some people will see it from us, you know, talking about it today as well. So we're coming down to starting to close up the program a little bit. Is there let's see if there's anything you want to add, anything you want to say about your careers, your thought about how you got around this stuff. I mean, we have a few minutes. So Tony, I'll start with you. Is there anything you want to add or say? And then also tell people again where they can reach you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I just want people to know that, you know, we're obviously, everything's perspective, you know, and, you know, there's a saying, life's a mirror, you get what you project, right? So, you know, there's people that have great times and bad economies and vice versa, like I said earlier. So, like I said, you know, we can take this as an opportunity to sit here and just be sorrowful that we can't go out and do what we've always done, or we can sit here and grow, right? We can watch all of Netflix from A to Z, or we can write that book that we've always wanted to write, you know, or we could, you know, just do whatever that we've always said for so many years that we never had time to do. We now have officially time to do it. And like I said, I can only speak from a testimony from my own heart. I've accomplished more, thank God, since this pandemic, not thank God for the pandemic, but during that time of being home than I did in all the last, you know, basically 2.5 years healing, right? So everything is perspective, you know, take things in stride. And again, you can reach me at tony@trueliving.team. Again, we have people from all around the world, every walk of life. You know, if you're not happy in a scale of 1 to 10, if you're not a 10 in all the F's of life, your faith, your fitness, your health, your footprint, your following, your friends, your family, your finances, your fun. If you're not happy in even one of those categories, if you're not a 10, reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help in any way, shape, or form. And if you want a COVID safer environment, please reach out to AnastasiaGroup.com as well for myself, Len. And I want to give a shout out to Rick Finkelstein. He's our dear friend. He has 10 movies out. He's a phenomenal guy. Look him up on IMDb. He's the one that brought us the Oxytime product, and that is an amazing hydrogen peroxide product too. So that's what I got. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And, one of my favorite movie lines comes from the movie Ratatouille, that everything goes down better with a little slice of perspective. Len, what would you like to add about, what you guys are doing? And again, where can we reach you?
The most important thing for me, and again, the same with Anthony, really, I'm a producer and director and an actor, but at the end of the day, this year brought a complete change around. I always follow the perspective. I'm a child of the universe. I'm law of attraction all the way through, but I'm also go with the flow. I'm fluid in everything. Stay fluid is my favorite phrase, because you never know what's coming at you. And literally, I never thought for 1 minute that when COVID started, I'd be ghostwriting books, that I'd be creating medical protocols for reopening the country, that I'd be talking on a level about a virus that people have studied these things for years in laboratories and gone to college and everything. And I mean, obviously, I can't talk into such depth as most of those, but I have an appreciation for it because of everything that I've done. But I can talk on a level, and I never thought for 1 minute that I would be doing exactly that. And when I went on other radio shows, it's all to do with reopening schools, reopening New York, reopening everything. And
that was a famous show.
Exactly. And I'm really looking forward to getting back into the whole creation thing. Hollywood is opening up, but there are still things going wrong. Just one quick thing, if I may. This whole thing about the Batman now with Rob Pattinson, being positive on COVID and everything. Here's where it goes wrong. They've now shut down the production, assuming his positive came from the production. Nobody knows what he does when he leaves that production. That's the whole point. The contact tracing should not be focusing on the fact that now maybe several hundred people have, lost their jobs for a while they investigate where this COVID came from. So this is where it goes wrong. It's not just a case of contact tracing in the area where he's been working. Contact trace and everything and prevention has to start at home. So we have to bear all that stuff in mind as well. Just thought I'd put that out there. But if anybody wants to get a hold of me, as I said, AnastasiaGroup.com is the website with the main thing. Right. And Len at LenDavies.com. Feel free, reach out. Any questions, whatever you want. I'm more than happy to get in touch.
Awesome, Len. Thank you. And Donna, what would you like to add? And how do we reach you again?
Yeah, it was very exciting to meet both Len and Anthony. I actually pivoted because Donna Meyer events was I host large events, right?
Yeah.
Even that. I hosted Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson. I was actually reinventing that business. And when COVID hit in February, so all that backburnered, and I went back to what the marketing, because I'm a marketing coach. So it all lends hand in hand. So with that being said, it's exciting to meet you guys and to hear about what you're doing in the world, and maybe some future time we can actually have an event.
Absolutely.
And, so everybody, take a look at Be Connected. This is where you can really find targeted leads and also business opportunity if you're interested in one. So again, Ava's link is Ava1. Okay, let me look again. Only one Ava .bee, like the bee, connected with a K.com. Also, you can get in touch with me. I'd love to talk to you about your marketing plans, your strategy, also about Be Connected. It's Donna at Glow, G-L-O, Media, M-E-D-I-A, marketing.com.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you to all of you for coming on the show today. Once we're done, I will share it on all your Facebook pages, and I hope you guys will connect there as well. And I will put you in touch with some various people after the show. Again, I want to shout out to the Logan Bros, who created the Teens with Dreams intro along with myself. And as Marco would say, he likes to tell everybody to start their day off by making their bed. So what would you say you have like just a catchphrase that you would like to share with us as we close up today? Tony, you got one? Quick.
Yes. No, I always like, the quote from Gandhi, basically, you be the change you want to change in the world. But I always say that you either change the world or you let the world change you. And we're in a crisis right now, so you can change, right? Or you can change the world. It's completely your choice.
Len, what about you?
Well, mine is Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try.
Right. That's true. That's very true. Donna?
Mine is be stronger than your excuse.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Since we went into COVID. So just change things, but be stronger than your excuse, and you'll get where you're going.
That's a good one. That really takes you inside, huh? We were talking on the True Living call the other night about mantras and stuff. And one of the ones I got from the E-Women conference that I absolutely love is don't keep your arms so full because you need both of your arms open to catch your next blessing. So I love that. And all right, guys, we're going to head out again. Thank you, Donna, Meyer. Tell me again, it's Glow. Tell the website again.
glowmediamarketing.com.
glowmediamarketing.com, and also Be Connected. It's Len Davies from the Anastasi Group, correct? Anastasi, is it Anastasi.com or AnastasiGroup.com?
AnastasiGroup.com.
Awesome. And Tony, international public speaker, also works with Len. Again, tell me a website or an email or something for you.
Sure. AnastasiGroup.com as well. TrueLiving.team. Email is Tony@TrueLiving.com.
And if you can't catch all of that, you can always catch me on Facebook, Instagram, Ava's Eyebags, Ava Holly, and again, 4astar.biz, the number 4. Again, that's going to be in 2 weeks, will be avaholly.com. So thank you guys again. Ruben, if you're ready to send us out, thank you so much for being on Ava's Casual Chat, Teens with Dreams on HamiltonRadio.net.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
Teens with dreams. Teens with dreams.
This is the Legion.
Teens with dreams, yeah. All I wanna do is me when I grow up. Teens with dreams, yeah. All I wanna do is me when I grow up. Teen with a dream don't get no harder. Easy once you started. No use in running away. Mr. Panting said you got it.
Yeah, you got that, and it feels so good to be on track. Even when you fall down, ain't no other way around. Your success is determined by your bounce back. Dream.
Really dancing that.
Are we off, Ruben? I guess. Ruben, you there? Well, we got the music going, so I guess we're off. I'm going to say goodbye, guys. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll hook you guys up after the show.
Give me a
Take
few
care.
seconds.
Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Take care, Donna. Cheers, Tony.
Bye-bye.